Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and today we're going to take a look at Mandatory's hyper-optimized path through Mysara Caverns from their perfect, deathless Group A weekend. All talents and builds used by the players can be found via Raider.io in the description below. Mandatory start off this run with a massive Bloodlust pull, combining all their major cooldowns to get a huge head start on the enemy forces count they'll need. It's not just offensive cooldowns that are used either. In the first few seconds of this pull, every single player presses at least one personal defensive cooldown to ensure their survival and give Ryson the ability to cast some Starfires instead of healing spells. This allows him to contribute substantial damage to the pull, while still doing some healing through the talent Dream of Cenarius, which is part of this newly popular Resto Druid build. After finishing up this pull and collecting more than 25% of the enemy forces they need, Mandatory wastes no time freeing the prisoners as efficiently as possible, with Ryson backtracking to the entrance and then using the Wernstone that Gingy gave him to rejoin the group. The rest of the group in the meantime has been busy starting the next pull. While Mirez gathered everything, Kush on the Devourer Demon Hunter benefited from not having to spend long outside of combat, while Maestine on the Affliction Warlock was able to start dotting everything up. This composition is one of many that Mandatory used this weekend, as thanks to the MDI's spec variety rule, teams need to adapt their specs from run to run. The Affliction Warlock in particular is a spec they really optimized to shine in this dungeon, while the Augmentation Evoker's unique utility suite, like that Wernstone we saw before, and we'll see again, made it a high priority pick that they had to carefully ration in each series that they played. After another big pull, Mandatory find themselves with over 50% enemy forces before pulling the first boss, but they want to take some more with them into the fight. Mirez rolls out to tag some extra enemies, while also using Ring of Peace to keep the last few mobs from the last pull grouped up in the AoE, while Ryson goes on a journey to tag some more bears. Then Mandatory engage the boss and cleave everything down while making sure to keep the Shadowbinders interrupted. Their comp doesn't have a Death Knight for a grip, so it takes a while for the Headhunter to get under the boss, but luckily they're able to remove the hooked snare it applies to Maestine through a heads-up use of Soulburn, making his demonic circle cleanse the root. When all is said and done, Mandatory have 58.8% count and the first boss dead at the 507 mark, and head through the gate to the rest of the dungeon. Some more Evoker utility, in the form of Spatial Paradox, allows Ryson and Gingy to briefly have 100-yard range on their abilities, which lets them easily tag all the extra enemies they'd like to fight with the mini-boss. During this encounter, Mandatory do have one ability to watch out for, Ritual Sacrifice, which goes on Maestine this time. Luckily, he is a Night Elf, so he can Shadow Meld to briefly drop combat and also the sacrifice. After the mini-boss goes down, Ryson and Gingy briefly activate some of the ritual incenses at the sides of the room, while the rest of the team charge forward to start the next pull. The most important thing here is to not get too crazy with the Collapsing Stars or other burst AoE abilities as the Grim Skirmishers get low, as synchronized Grim Ward explosions can be very lethal. Once this pull is done, Gingy turns around and heads back to the mini-boss room. He activates the final incense, which summons a spirit that will aid Mandatory for the next minute. Then he uses the Wernstone to teleport to Ryson, who is standing just within 100 yards of Gingy on the other side of some walls and hills. Then the two of them use a Warlock Gateway to catch up to the team. Now it's Ryson's turn for a U-turn, as he runs to the top of the stairs to tag some more enemies while Gingy keeps running to rejoin the group. Once in range, Gingy rescues Ryson, and the carefully choreographed dance ends with the whole group and most of the remaining enemy forces that they need all converging on the second boss. Once again, Mandatory make use of personal defensives on almost everyone to get through the most dangerous part of this pull, which is the start when all the trash is alive. But as soon as they kill most of it, it's time to grab some more to bring them over 99% enemy forces. But still they're not quite at 100%. The enemy forces plan now reaches its final stage, as Mandatory have earned themselves the ability to skip all of the trash on the bridge and the dangers that come with fighting while the spectral hands are hurling projectiles towards them. So Mirez grabs a bunch of enemies before taking a Wernstone and hitting a Shadow Meld to rejoin the rest of the group who ran through safely. Unlike most of my Mysara Caverns runs, Mandatory do actually have a plan for the last 1% of the enemy forces bar. It's Zybion the Drummer at the top of the stairs, but his time isn't up quite yet, as they first run past with some defensives and pull the boss. Xybion's Ritual Drums AoE has a relatively short range of 70 yards, so the back section of the boss room is actually safe from them. Mandatory make use of this to fight the boss until it's almost time for the intermission, at which point they drag the boss back towards the entrance and use some more defensives to survive the drummer's damage before being sent to the spirit realm. Once they return, the damage amp that they stacked up during the run back allows them to make short work of both the boss and the drummer, ending the run at 12 minutes and 24 seconds as one of the 9 deathless dungeon runs they put on the board during this tournament. Make sure to tune in next weekend to watch Group B and see which teams will join Mandatory and Send Spellbook in the Season 1 finals to fight for a chance to play at BlizzCon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in Azeroth.